Hello, my name is Professor John Benjamin. This is Game Design at West Virginia Wesleyan College. And this is part 4 in a series of creating a whole game from scratch. Okay, so here we are. And now what we're going to do is create a door. So the object of this game is to collect objects, in this case art, and then we're just going to leave through the door and be able to get to the next level, to win, if you will. So we're going to need a door. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. It's pretty dark, so let's go ahead and add a light. Let's add a point light. There we go. Yeah, maybe even make it a little brighter. Okay, that's good. Okie doke. So we're going to create a door. First thing we're going to do is just go to our geometry and grab a box, make it subtractive, and drag that out here. There, we've got a nice little door. All right, and then the next thing we're going to do is go down to our starter content and look for props, and then drag out this little nice door frame. Oh, that's a window frame. Here's the door frame. There we go, much better. Okie doke, and now let's kind of make sure it's level with the floor. And then now let's kind of match up that that geometry with the door frame, I should say. Okay, that looks pretty good. So we just need to make it a little less more narrow. Looks good. Yeah, perfect. All right, there's our door frame and a little way out. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and create the door. So go back to your content. Make sure you're in my content folder. I'm going to keep all your stuff in here. You know, at this point, we probably want to create a My Player controller. So let's do that first. Okay, so let's go ahead and say add new, blueprint class, and player controller. And we're just going to call it third person player controller. Kind of a long name. All right, so we're going to need that shortly. And one of the things I want to make sure, I can't remember if we did it in the last episode, but let's go check. Just want to go to Edit and Project Settings. And we want to come here to Maps and Modes and open up Selected Game Mode. Oh yeah, we didn't. And so our game mode is third person game mode. So we're going to change that here, third person game mode. And then it should automatically be linked up to third person character and hopefully our controller class, but nope, we've got to change that now to third person controller. So those are the three things we want to set in our project settings. So third person game mode, third person character, third person player controller. Okay, you can close that out for a moment. And then we're going to go to our world settings. So you go up to the toolbar to settings and you go to world settings. You just get a little tab over here. And where it says game mode override, you can just go ahead and say third person game mode. And then if you look over here under selected game mode, it should say third person character, third person player controller. All right, that's all we need to do there. I just want to make sure we did that before I forgot. Okay, so now let's go and create a door. All right, so we're going to create a blueprint. It's going to be animated. So and we're going to create a blueprint. So let's go to Add New and Blueprint Class. And as usual, we're just going to say Static Mesh. Static Mesh Actor, great. And hit Select. And we're going to call this End of Level Door. Okay, go ahead and double click to open it up. All right, and here we are going to select the static mesh component. And here under static mesh, we're going to click here and we're going to type in door. And you should get an SM door static mesh, and there it is. All right, we're going to need to do, we're going to need to make it movable. It's going to swing open. Let's do that. And then we're going to add some glass. You can walk right through this right now. Well, you can't walk through it, but we're going to add some glass. So come up here and say add new component. And this time we're going to say static mesh. All right, and we're going to call this glass. And when we have that selected, we're going to come back over here to static mesh. And we're going to type in glass. And it should pop right up there, class window. All right, cool. All right, so now we're going to move over to the event graph and we're going to make a timeline. So just right click and type timeline. And let's call this door timeline. Seems like a good name. And double click on it to open it. And as per usual, we're going to get a float track. We're going to name this door track. And let's make it 1 second. Use last keyframe. And shift click to add 1 and 2 keyframes. First one, it should be 0 and 0. And the second one should be 1 for 1 second and 90 for 90 degrees. All right, that's all we need to do there. Let's go back to the event graph. Okay, and we're going to have to do some input mapping here. So we're just going to compile and save this for a moment, close that out. And input mapping is where we put in all our whatever key commands or controller commands we want to link that up to our character and anything else that has functionality in the game. So let's go to Edit, Project Settings, and we're going to scroll down under the engine heading here to Input. And there's two kinds of input. There's action mapping right here and axis mapping. Action mapping is you hit it once and or you hold the key down and it's a it's a one. You hit it once and it has an action. Axis mapping is if you hold it down and you have a continuous action like running. So here we can see move forward, move right, turn right, and here we've got jump and reset VR. So let's go ahead and we're going to just add a key to use an object. We're going to add a key to use an object. So let's go here and we're just going to hit the plus sign here under action mapping. We're going to call this use object, and we're going to just use the F key. So I'm going to click here, and you can see you can do PS4, touchpad, XY axis, anything that you've seen that is appropriate for your game. But for us, we're just going to make a PC game, and we're just going to use the keyboard key of the letter F. There, and you can add shift and different things, but we're not going to do that today. So let's go ahead and close that out. And we're going to go back to our end of level door. And here in the graph editor, we're going to add a variable. We're going to add a rotator variable, initial door rotation. And we're going to make that a rotator. Because we added that input, we can go ahead here and say input and use object. There it is. Great, we'll start with that. We're going to use this initial door rotation, drag that out, give it a set. And we're going to connect the when pressed. But we're also going to have to get action rotation. Oops. Get actor rotation. And over here, we need a brake rotator, so it'll stop. Oh, that's not right. Let's try that again. Brake rotator. There we are. All right, and from the yaw, we're going to get a float minus float. And then we're going to say a make rotator. There it is. Okay, and we're going to connect that to there. And this little bit is going to add to the door track. And then we're not worried, we're not concerned about X and Y. So we're just going to link those up like so. Then from the door timeline, set actor rotation. We're going to connect the make rotator to the new rotation value. I think that's about it. So let's expand that. If you want to take a screenshot, you can. And I think that's everything that we need. Compile and save and hit play. Oh, we haven't brought the door into the level yet. All right, so let's drag our door in here. Try to line it up. I'm going to need to change my snapping. I'm set to 10 right now. I'm going to set it to 1. So I can kind of get it just right. That looks perfect. Great. I'm going to set my snapping back to 10. All right, there's our door. And let's hit play. Nothing happens because we did something wrong. We have to get permission. Okay, so back to the door. So this is all great, but there's no permission that's connected to our player. Okay, so we need to say event begin play. connect that to an enable input. And then we need a get player controller. And link the return value to the player controller. Okay, I think that's all we need to do. Always forgetting something. All right, let's try again. Let's hit play. Check out the door. Hit F. And it opens. All right, I'm excited. Okay, so there's a little more to do because what we don't want to do is have the door open when we're way over here. That wouldn't make sense. We want to be able to go up to the door and open it. All right, so we're going to add a trigger to it. So let's go ahead and open up the end of level door again. We're going to go to the viewport, and we're going to select the static mesh actor. And we are going to add a component, and we're going to type in box, because we want a box collision. And we're going to call this door collision. All right, and let's get it scaled up to the door. So it's about the size of the door. We want to make it come out a lot too, so you don't have to walk right up to the door. A little wider, fit the door, and a little taller. All right, that looks like a pretty good collision. Perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do is with it selected, we're going to scroll down here to the Events tab, and we are going to select here, you can read it, on component begin overlap. All right, it's going to add this node to our event graph. But let's go back, because we want to add another one. We're going to go back to the viewport, select it again, and right underneath that is an end overlap. All right, so now we've got these two nodes. All right, so we have to cast to third-person character. Same thing here, so you can copy and paste that. Copy and paste. And connect that execution pin there. Player controller, as we usually do. Get player, whoops. Get player controller. All right. Click right here and say enable. Input. There we have it. And disable input. Oop. There we have it. Okay, and so let's connect the return value to the player controller on both of these. And the execution pin. We'll cross over there. And let's let you take a screenshot if you like. No, of course not. There's always something missing. It's the other actor has to be connected to the object. It's always something. All right, and so we zoom out. We should have quite a lot of nodes. I'm going to get these out of the way here for our door. Okay, so now let's try this. Compile and save. And let's hit play. So I'm going to go walk up to the door. We'll come back and get kind of out of the range of the box and hit F. Okay, nothing happens as it should not. I'm going to walk up to the door, get in range, and it opens. Yay! And I can. So the next thing we need to do is we don't want you to leave the level until you've won. So you've collected everything. All right, so what we're going to do first is we're going to go open up our third-person character. So we're going to add a variable, and it's called screen message. A text variable. Compile and save that. So we have that there. Screen message is in our character. Okay, and now we are going to open the HUD widget. All right, so we are going to add text to the canvas, the canvas right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and add text box right as a child of the canvas, not the horizontal box. Okay. And I want to anchor it to, I think this the center. Yeah, let's make it go to the center. And let's bring that box down to the center. All right, so now we're going to bind that text to third-person character reference, and we're going to look for our new screen message, just like that. All right, I think we're done here. So let's hit compile and save. And let's go back to our door. All right, so we're going to add a few screen messages to this area here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to break these two like so. And we're just going to move them over. It's got a bunch of screen messages we got to put in here. All right, so from cast to my character, third person character, we need to create a art collected, because he has to tell you that the art is collected before you can open the door. So there's the art collected. Is there a byte equals byte? Equal byte. That's the one. Cast the third person to a branch. There's a couple of options that can happen. And we're going to connect the equals byte to the condition. We are going to come down here to the third person character, and we're going to create a set to screen message. There it is. Oh yeah, so let's move that a little closer. You're going to go right to there. All right. Oh, do I need to uncheck? Yes, of course. Uncheck content sensitive. Thank you. All right. Set screen message. Where are you? There you are. Type right in here. You must press F to open the door. All right. And then I'm going to make a little space for false. Set screen message as you must collect all 3 works of art before you open the door. That's a little long. But now, a third person character has to be targeted to there and to there. I think that's it. And I think then we connect this to the enable input. And then this one just sets here. This is the one that tells you got to go back. There's probably something missing, I'm sure. All right, we're going to find out. All right, compile and save that. Oh, something's wrong. Third person character has to be linked to the target. All right, so we're going to go ahead and collect our artwork. Oh wait, first, if we go up to the door, and it says you must collect all 3 works of art before you could open the door. Okay, so we're going to go collect them. All right, so we have all 3. Now it says you must press F to open the door. All right, and we get to be free. Great.